Evaluate the consequences of Juman's initial agreement to take care of his aunt's property. How did it impact his relationships and the overall dynamics in the village?
Perfect. Negative consequences is the correct choice.
Does fair play improves the sense of responsibility and esteem?
Excellent, and is a brilliant choice. Can bullying exist in an environment where fair play reigns?
Bravo, no is the answer.
Evaluate the role of loyalty in the story, considering both positive and negative aspects. How does loyalty impact the characters and the overall plot? Smart move. Negatively influences characters is an accurate answer.
Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham was Hrithik Roshan's first film.
Correct response. False is the most accurate answer.
If the fair play was a continuous habitus, we would have good thinking. More serene life is the right answer.
Which of these terms is not identified in fair play?
Excellent choice. Egoismo is the right answer.
How many articles contained in the fair play card?
Well done. 10 is the right choice.
Does fair play only concern sport?
Well picked. No is the correct answer.
Identify the bird. Valid point, Emu is true. Which of these female actors is not considered to be one among the famous dancing trio Travancore sisters?
Smart pick. Sukumari is the correct choice.
Which among the following sites monuments in India is not on the UNESCO's list of World Cultural Heritage? A. Great thinking. Kashi Viswanath Temple is the right choice. The name of the capital of which of these Indian states starts and ends with the same English alphabet? Well reasoned. Chhattisgarh is the correct choice. Algu and Samju came to an agreement that Samju would pay the bullock's price to Algu in dash. Nice selection. 1 month is the correct and valid answer. State true or false when Juman got the opportunity. He availed it and took revenge from Algu.
You chose false, and it is correct.
In fair play, what is the reaction of the coaches and parents to the umpire's decision?
Sharp thinking. They are furious is the right choice.
To reach which of these places do pilgrims start their journey on foot from Gaurikund?
Strong choice. Kedarnath is the right answer.
Which literary device is primarily used in the story Fair Play to convey its message?
Correct. Irony is the right answer.
Which of the following best describes the character of Tanner in the story Fair Play?
You're right. Honest and fair is the correct answer.
The old aunt chose Juman to be the head panch at the hearing of her case at Panchayat.
Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true.
The words Am Admi Ka Adhai Kar are seen on many issued copies of which of these cards?
Right choice. Aadhaar card is the best answer.
Which of these is a dress that is named after a royal courtesan of the Mughal Empire?
Solid response. Anarkali is a valid choice.
According to the Ramayana, Bali and Sugriva were kings of which of these kingdoms? Great job. Kishkinda is the accurate answer. In the context of fair play, what does the phrase fair play most closely mean?
Right again. Playing by the rules is a valid answer. What factors contributed to Jamin's change in behavior towards his aunt? Oh! On track. Greed and selfishness is the correct answer.
Fair play is behaving or treating others in a way that is honest and fair. Nice work. You chose true, and it is correct. What global organization is concerned with education, science, and culture? You got it. Your choice, UNESCO, is right. Nature Shastra, the main source of India's classical dances, was written by.
Nicely done. Bharat Muni is a solid answer.
The moral of the passage is that the most important thing in life is dash.
Exactly. Justice makes sense, and it is right choice.
An event or contest that two or more people or teams are trying to win.
Good job. Your answer competition works well here.
Which of these planets in the solar system is called the Earth's twin? Good job. Your answer, Venus, works well here. Which character in Fair Play is known for their sense of justice?
On track. Wage is the correct answer.
What is the relationship between Jaman and Algu in Fair Play?
Well reasoned. Friends is the correct choice.
To whom did the aunt decided to take to the village panchayat?
Good thinking. Jaman is the right answer.
The old lady was very comfortable with Jaman and his family.
Valid point. False is true.
Not thinking that you are superior or better than others. You got it. Your choice, humility, is right. The panchayat was held the same evening under dash tree.
Smart pick. An old banyan tree is the correct choice.
Which character in Fair Play is accused of being unfair?
Smart move. Jaman is an accurate answer.
3 years ago, my dash transferred her property to me.
Well picked. Aunt is the correct answer.
Which character changes their perspective in Fair Play?
Great thinking. Jaman is the right choice.
Which literary device is prominently used in Fair Play?
You're right. Irony is the correct answer.
How does the community view the panchayat in Fair Play?
Right choice. With respect is the best answer.
Who is the lead actor in the Bollywood movie Sanju?
Nicely done. Ranbir Kapoor is a solid answer.
What do you think the antonym of the word embrace is?
Exactly. Reject makes sense, and it is right choice.
Which character in Fair Play is a symbol of wisdom?
Clear logic. Your choice, Wage, is sound and 100% true.
Jaman and his family was tired of the old relative.
You chose true. And it is correct. According to the Mahabharata, whose son is Bhima? Well done. Vayu is the right choice.
Which of the following is a stringed instrument?
Great job. Santur is the accurate answer.
In Fair Play, what role does the panchayat play?
Nice work. You chose a court of law, and it is correct.
A display of politeness, manners, and respect.
Strong choice. Graciousness is the right answer.
What is the main theme of the story Fair Play?
Excellent choice. Justice and fairness is the right answer. Which classical dance is famous in Tamil Nadu? Right again. Bharatanatyam is a valid answer. Who transferred the property to Jaman's name? Solid response. His aunt is a valid choice.
What was the relation between Algu and Jaman?
Perfect. Good friends is the correct choice.
How does Algu prove his fairness in Fair Play?
Sharp thinking.
By being impartial is the right choice. Everybody knew that justice was on the side of. Excellent. Wage is a brilliant choice.
When did Jaman's aunt transfer her property?
Bravo. There was an agreement is the answer. Whose aunt transferred her property to whom? Correct response. Jaman is the most accurate answer. Algu and Jaman are the Panch in this story. Nice selection. False is the correct and valid answer.
What role does tradition play in Fair Play?
Correct. It is upheld is the right answer.
Who is the author of the story Fair Play?
Valid point. Munshi Prekhand is true. Alga's nomination as head panch made Jaman. Sharp thinking. Happy is the right choice.
Who is the writer of the chapter Fair Play? You chose Premchand, and it is correct.
Jaman and his wife loved his aunt dearly. Bravo. False is the answer.
What is the conflict in Fair Play about?
Smart move. Property dispute is an accurate answer. Algu and Jaman became dash at the end.
Well done. Friends is the right choice.
Who wants to set up a separate kitchen? Excellent. Jaman's aunt is a brilliant choice.
The attitude of Jaman towards the aunt?
Right again. Become undesirable is a valid answer.
The word deviate is the opposite of.
Smart pick. Continue is the correct choice. Both were greatly dash in the village. Clear logic. Your choice respected is sound and 100% true.
Which of these rivers is the longest?
Well reasoned. Amazon is the correct choice. Aunt was asking for the monthly dash. Well picked. Allowance is the correct answer.
What is the resolution in Fair Play?
On track. A peaceful agreement is the correct answer. Who has the main word in the match? Great thinking. Judge is the right choice. Who was the character in Fair Play? Great job. Jaman and wife is the accurate answer.
What was the nature of Jaman's wife?
Excellent choice. Careless is the right answer.
How does the story Fair Play end?
Nicely done. With a resolution is a solid answer. The panchayat knows neither dash. You got it? Your choice, friend or enemy, is right. The old aunt had great faith in. Good thinking. Panch is the right answer. The old lady had a case against. Correct response. Jaman is the most accurate answer. The word looked after means
Exactly. Took care of makes sense, and it is right choice.
meaning of pleaded is dash.
Strong choice. Requested is the right answer.
What do you mean by grudged?
Nice selection. Angry gun happy is the correct and valid answer.
Choose the correct spelling. Right choice. Successful is the best answer.
Popcorn is made from dash. Nice work. You chose Maisie and it is correct. Who was the best in justice?
You're right. Both is the correct answer.
Sun Temple is situated at
Correct. Konark is the right answer.
Juman and Algu were dash.
Good job. Your answer, good friends, works well here.
The villagers held them.
Solid response. In high esteem is a valid choice.
Who was the old lady?
Perfect. Juman's aunt is the correct choice.
Who had an old aunt? Right again.
Juman is a valid answer.
Juman had the dash.
You're right. Old aunt is the correct answer.
What was she angry?
Solid response. She was treated badly is a valid choice. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
Exactly. Contact Narayan Chengder on Facebook makes sense, and it is right choice.